spot for Disney 101, and it's so great to be back here with you guys. As you can see, we have a little bit of a different setup now. Steve and I are both on the screen, and it's awesome to both be here. So, Steve, what is going on? How are you? Can you scooch over a little bit so you're a little more centered? Other way. Other way. There you go. Looking good. All right.
No, I think that was, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm doing good.
So how's it going?
Today was actually...
It's your boy Tommy on the spot. Yep, sorry. So I just wanted to make sure the test on YouTube was going. So a little disastrous to start. We will explain in a sec. But Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm good. This was the first week back in with classes and everything going on at school. So it was a little hectic, but you know, it's good. It's going to get better.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, no, that's right. You guys start way early than we do in relation. I know you guys are down there in Florida. Here in New York, we still have roughly about 2.5 weeks. I guess 2 weeks more until school starts, which is crazy. It seems like
I know it's about 2 weeks to Labor Day, so you guys probably have about 2 weeks left.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it has been a couple of weeks here. We took a little while to figure things out in terms of our live stream capabilities, based on the idea that Google and YouTube have decided to get rid of Google Hangouts, which I'm sure drove a lot of people into a bit of a tizzy, us included. So we're trying to figure out the best way to do this here. And we are live right now, but it's up there as an unlisted listing. Now that we have the capability to go live, we will most likely start to do that. But we figured for the first week, let's make sure it's going, make sure everything is all set and good to go. We are currently using StreamYard, which is an app that just came out. These guys put this app out kind of in conjunction with YouTube getting rid of Google Hangouts, and so far so good. It's pretty great. We're both able to both be on the screen at the same time.
Yeah, I think this I like this setup a little bit better. I mean, the going back and forth was interesting, but I think this is this kind of has that more of a, you know, like I always think of you like Around the Horn or like one of those you know, like ESPN shows where they have multiple, you know, talking heads on the same thing.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know that that StreamYard also does allow for up to 5 people on the same time. So we'll still be able to have guests. We'll still be able to do things like we did when we had Adam on talking about his trip, or when we had Toby on talking about Star Wars, or Joe on talking about Marvel. We've had a couple guests on in the past, and we'll still be able to do that. So shout out to StreamYard. Check them out if you are struggling a little bit with your live streams and everything going on to that extent. Check them out, StreamYard.com. Pretty easy stuff there. You have to bear with us a little bit here on our first episode again, though. Typically when Steve's on the air, I'm used to kind of just being able to kick back, my head up a little bit, maybe take a small nap. Now I can't do any of those things because we're both on the screen at the same time. But it's cool. We even have our little our little nameplates right here, so you can see who we are talking about over there. There you go. Pretty cool. So yeah, so very cool, and it's great to be back here with you guys. Shout out to all of our new followers, by the way. Super cool to have. We're up over 250 subscribers. This is the last time we were here, so that is great. We've been putting up some things. Have you been able to see some of the vlogs and some of the videos that we've been posting there, Steve?
I have, yeah, and including all of the stuff that's been on the Instagram account recently. Some of my recent some pics from the cruise and all that stuff. So
yeah, it's very odd because for me, I know a lot of people go and they visit Disney during the summer, and it feels like that is like almost prime Disney time for a lot of people. For me, though, I feel like we are entering prime Disney park season. Like, I love Disney during the fall and during the winter. I feel like, and then even into like food and wine, I feel almost like the summer might actually be my least favorite time of the Disney parks.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you're having to deal with all of the heat and all of that stuff and the crowds and everything, it's definitely not my favorite time to go to the parks. We actually went to Disney property last night. We had talked about maybe going over to Magic Kingdom, maybe by the time we had kind of gotten over that way, we wound up just walking over to the Polynesian so that we could see the fireworks from Trader Sam's, and then we got some Dole Whip and kind of just hung out there before heading back. So it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot less crowded, and it took us a lot less time to get there. And we still saw all of the fireworks, and the great thing is that they actually pumped the soundtrack through the speakers as well. So it's
Oh
pretty
wow.
much right through there. Aside from the fact that you can have an adult beverage like you cannot do in the Magic Kingdom, and a lot less crowded. So
Yeah, that is really cool. That sounds awesome. I love the poly. I love being able to kind of hang out outside and watch the fireworks there. It's crazy that they encourage that
I
because
don't know. It's not necessarily that they encourage it. Like they're not, hey, you know what? Instead of paying all that money to get into Magic Kingdom, just head over to the Polynesian. But it's definitely an added bonus, especially if you're staying there, which I would definitely recommend. If you are staying at the Polynesian Resort, it's a great option to hang out outside so that you can see the fireworks instead, or even in the pool or whatever, what have you. But if you are going to go to the outside patio seating at Trader Sam's, definitely get there early because we actually showed up about 5 minutes before showtime and it was standing room only.
oh, gotcha. This is at Trader Sam's.
Yeah, it was right out, like that outside patio area where we filmed part of our monorail bar crawl. So like
Gotcha.
right
Yeah,
outside that area. Yeah.
that's very cool. Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out here the notification of who I was chatting with here, and I'll try to give them the proper credit because they had a fantastic idea. Chloe and Dan, check them out over on YouTube. We were chatting about how they were over at. They basically said. Basically how they should have something in Disney World in the Magic Kingdom that you could actually have a little lounge where you'd be able to go and have specific drinks, sort of how they have it in Disney's Animal Kingdom. And I feel like that would be something that I feel like adults would be more. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, so which particular lounge are you talking about at Animal Kingdom? Because there's a few.
Well, it's not
Are we talking about like a Club 33 type thing?
not Club 33. What are some of the other ones?
Well, so at Animal Kingdom, there's like the Nomad Lounge. There are a lot of other outside bar areas.
It was the Nomad Lounge, and we were talking about.
Okay.
I had seen their video on it, which was really good, and I gave them some love. And we were kind of going back and forth on how they should have one in the Magic Kingdom, a lounge for adults to go, and maybe you could drink a little bit, get your drink on, and still be in the Magic Kingdom. So you're kind of preserving some of that integrity of the vision of no alcohol there, but at the same time, you're having one or two places for adults to go and get your drink on.
I guess, but I don't know. I'm a little bit of a purist here when it comes to Magic Kingdom and drinking and stuff. Where I'm still, with if you're going to make it still like, I'm fine with drinking at the other parks. Believe me, you know that I am. But with Magic Kingdom, I don't know. It's just something different, and I don't feel like when you're there at Magic Kingdom, it's just the one. It's the one place where I feel like you don't really need to. I mean, I'm sure there's the argument that says it's the one place where you absolutely do need to, especially if you are with little kids. But it was Walt's vision to keep that park, clean and sober. And so I feel like, those places where, whether it's Be Our Guest or Liberty Tree Tavern where you can have alcohol with dinner, I'm kind of against that. So
Be our guest,
I feel like,
right?
What'd you say?
Be our guest, you can, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think, Be Our Guest, I know it's Be Our Guest and I know it's a Liberty Tree. I don't know if you can go to other places at dinner. So maybe like at the Plaza or at Crystal Palace. So I don't know if the other sit down restaurants inside Magic Kingdom will allow it as well. But I know it's definitely those two.
Cool.
But still, it's like, either whether, they do have like the Tomorrowland Terrace where they have the dessert party. And that is a separate place where you can go and you can hang out, you can enjoy dessert, you can enjoy other non-alcoholic specialty drinks. And you get a very good view of the fireworks. But I don't know about the allowing alcohol in, like I would totally see, I could totally see that if there's special, like penthouses for like maybe Fantasmic or for the Star Wars things, or maybe for illuminations at Epcot, you could maybe open up the lounge that's at the top of the American Adventure Pavilion, maybe for like dessert parties and stuff. And you can just have those, those windowed seatings. But for Magic Kingdom, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's I hear you on that. And actually, I mean, your idea of having that option to go to the Poly and see the fireworks still is pretty cool.
I mean, I would say that might even for me that would be a better option because you get the outdoor seating, you get the lounge area, you get your drinks, and you don't have to deal with crowds. You don't have to deal with, the sometimes the logistical things about actually getting over to the Magic Kingdom can be kind of a problem. So I think it's a great option. I think Polynesian is the way to go if you're not already in the parks and you still want to see the fireworks. I think it's the great option.
Well, and it's also, in essence, free 99, my favorite price.
That's also very true.
You can get there. I mean, as if you're a local like yourself, you can go there anytime. If you're staying on Disney property or even not on Disney property when you're vacationing down there, you can just go and kick it at the Poly and enjoy the fireworks. That's kind of really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, all right. So let's dive in here. We've kind of talked about a couple different things here. It may be the middle of August, and Halloween may be the furthest thing from your mind, but that is not the case for us Disney fans here. Specifically, perhaps us, us childless millennials who is that what somebody was accusing folks of being? There
was a big thing. There was a big thing. I think that was maybe like a week or two ago. Now, I've seen and heard a bunch of different things about that. One of them was that the first original post by itself was actually a fake post.
Okay.
But there was a lot of other, like, I think like the New York Post did an article about it, how agreeing with it, and there's a lot of people, but there's so much backlash, and I love seeing the backlash and everybody.
Oh yeah.
Both on both sides, either agreeing or disagreeing. And my thing is, at the end of the day, the Magic Kingdom specifically, the other parks as well, but they were all designed with Walt's vision in mind. Again, going back to Walt's vision, was a park for everyone, regardless of whether you were an 8-year-old or an 80-year-old, or whether you were a 20-something or a 30-something that happens to be going there without kids. And believe me, I also know plenty, with my experience working with like Disney Vacation Club and stuff, there were plenty of older people as well, getting into like their 40s and 50s and so on, that went to the parks without their kids and their grandkids. So it's not just millennials going to the park without kids. I will tell you that right away. And the whole thing is that it's a place where you can go so that you can feel like a kid, no matter what age you are. So I think particularly if the original post was a true thing, and the people that agree with it are kind of, those people that look at people and like can just point and go, your fun is wrong. Like who cares if somebody else is getting an enjoyment of something that isn't hurting anyone? Like, let them live their life. We're not gonna follow you and figure and nitpick at all the things that all of your life choices. So whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I always tell the story of my last year. We went down to Land for my birthday in October, and went to. We actually back in the archives, we have a little footage, and we spoke about that. But we went to Goofy's Kitchen, and we were some of the only. There were plenty of adults. It was pretty much every table was adults getting their drinks on and enjoying Goofy's Kitchen. And it's like the parks are a place that I feel like, maybe it's not necessarily even going back to be a kid as much as it is just going and having a week where it's, completely worry-free. And, as I think your wife has said in the past, having a bit of the magic in your life while you're in that world. And that's what I think it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but for folks who do enjoy Disney World, whether you be an adult or a child, it is officially Halloween season in Walt Disney World.
Yes, indeed it is.
It just started last week. Now, is this a little early, or is it just me thinking it's a little early? Is this every year in the middle of August?
I think last year started also mid-August, but this is definitely as far as like it getting kind of earlier and earlier, this is about as early as it has been maybe the last year or two. So that was actually, I think the first party was this past Friday. It was August 16th.
Right. Yeah. This is the opening weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
So there are a couple of new additions this year, starting with the fact that there's a new nighttime fireworks show extravaganza. So there's new elements to that. They've updated the parade a little bit as well, which are both my wife's favorite fireworks and my wife's favorite parade. So those two things together are we're looking forward to it at some point, maybe a little bit closer to Halloween. But we're definitely looking forward to go there, as well as a new layover for an attraction. So there's new to the Monsters Inc. laugh floor. It's a treat trail, but it's an interactive treat trail. I've seen a few pictures of like the overlays. I'm not exactly sure what it entails, so I don't know if this is just that there is if it's the regular show and there's just a Halloween overlay, or if the monsters are always going to be out there hanging out and the treat trail is actually inside. You just kind of walk through the theater and the monsters will interact with you that way. So I'm excited to see what that looks like, and I'll definitely give a report on that when we do check it out.
Sure. And when do you think you're going down?
Maybe sometime in September. We have to check. Maybe kind of configure with some of our other friends and stuff. But we'll almost definitely be going on a Friday.
There you go. That's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, we talk a little more off air, but it was a tentative idea of, depending what this wrestling announcement is coming up here about WWE bringing NXT live. If that first episode happens on October 2nd, there would be an outside chance that would be my annual birthday weekend trip, would be down there doing that, and then doing a couple days, and hope maybe that could be. I mean, that would be early October, which would probably be pretty tough to get tickets for, but we could certainly try.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it won't be. It won't be impossible. It might be a little bit more expensive, but it's not going to be impossible. But speaking of which, this year there is a new ticket option for those that do absolutely love Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and do want to go multiple times. There's an option where you can pay $299 plus tax, so $299 plus tax, and enjoy practically unlimited trips to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. You can enjoy up to 35 nights in 2019, which, looking at it, is, I mean, they have them most Tuesday, Friday, and Sundays.
So you can it's up to 5 times you can do it?
It's up to 35.
35 times?
Up to 35 times, yes. Yes, indeed.
35? Not sure you spend that much time with Mickey, but wow.
But I will say ticket prices, let me see. I need to switch over because I was looking at ticket prices for annual pass holders. So I'm going to switch over to ticket prices. And I'll say, so the rest of the dates, so like next week after in August, and the first couple of weeks of September are $85 a person.
Yeah.
But then it is going to jump to over 115. So if you go 3 times, chances are you've paid for yourself.
Made it back.
So any more than that is just bonus. Whether you are a regular guest or an annual pass holder, chances are if you go at least 3 times, it will pay for itself. And I'm not saying that we looked at it and it was kind of like, ooh, actually that's a really great deal.
Yeah.
I just don't know if we're actually going to be going more than 3 nights.
Right. Yeah, that's tough.
But, if you are a Florida resident, maybe if you are either a Florida resident or an annual pass holder that happens to be down here for an extended period of time, or maybe if you're not an annual pass holder and you said, you know what, maybe instead of going to the party and experiencing the party all 3 nights, maybe I'll go and I'll experience the party 1 night, and then the rest of those nights will be dedicated to riding the other attractions that are going to be open, that I will be experiencing a significant decrease in wait time.
There you go.
So maybe I will kind of take that as my advantage of going to the parks for this month or 2 stretch and only paying $300 for unlimited going in.
And is this $300 for a pass holder or visitor?
So it is definitely $299 for anybody. It doesn't seem like there is an annual pass holder discount for that. There's only there's only a discount for select single days for annual pass holders.
Feels like something though that would be catered almost to the annual pass holder, because yes, you're going more than 3 weeks, but unless you're going for 2 weeks on a 2-week vacation to Orlando, you probably don't need to go and buy it.
No, unless you did want to experience the park for longer than just 7 p.m. Because there's that hindrance to that 3 days a week. The Magic Kingdom is closing at 7 p.m. So if you're going to go for an extended period of time and wanted to go to the Magic Kingdom multiple nights, but wanted to see those Halloween fireworks and experience all of that stuff, and maybe you're going to go and do a different thing each night. Maybe one night you want to do, and you just want to do the fireworks. Maybe another night you want to do one of the dessert parties or one of the dining packages, and you want to kind of experience, because there is a ton of stuff to do that's not just going and experiencing like just single night Halloween party stuff. I think that it is enough where you can go multiple nights and still experience different things each night.
Yeah, no, I actually, I think you're onto something there. I think that's crazy. 7 o'clock, boy, you want to talk about a grouch. Me going to go visit Magic Kingdom and having to leave at 7 p.m. would be like uber grouchiness to the max there. What time is the party open till?
So the party goes until from 7 p.m. to midnight.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So it's solid 5 hours.
Yeah.
But with the Halloween party tickets, you can get in as early as 4 p.m. So really, you still have 8 hours of park time.
It's pretty good. I mean, you really pay to, and you don't need to buy regular admission, obviously, to go to the party.
So that is the thing. So because the Not So Scary Halloween Party is itself a regular hard ticket, so it is a separate ticket, but you don't need other theme park admission, and it's not like you have to buy a ticket to the Magic Kingdom and then the ticket to the party. If you don't have a ticket for Magic Kingdom for the day that you want to go to the party, you can buy the Halloween party ticket by itself and just get it, and you just have to wait until 4. You just have to wait until 4 p.m. and then you can just go into the Magic Kingdom, experience the park as regular for 3 hours, and then at 7 p.m. the party starts, and then you can keep experiencing everything else. So it is a good option if you kind of look at it, and maybe if you're not an annual pass holder, it's a good way to think about getting a ticket, essentially an unlimited ticket to the Magic Kingdom for $300 from now until October. Yeah,
I mean that's pretty great. That's definitely not bad at all. I mean, I think that and I think if you're going to Mickey's Not So, you want to get there at 4 because A, you're maximizing your amount of time in the park, and B, I think you do also want those Halloween photos sometimes like during the day. I think they look nice during the day.
They do, but also there's a lot of other special like magic shots, and there are a lot of photo ops special for the Halloween party. Oh, nice. So you do also want to check that out too. So I would say usually if my advice would be if you're going for the Halloween party and you're going to go in at 4 p.m., that's when you time to like maybe check out some rides and stuff. Maybe check out some of the things that might not be running as usual during the Halloween party. So that's when you would do those kinds of things. And then 7 p.m., then you can start the party, you can start the tree trails, and, kind of maybe hits. And then that's when the changeover is for some of the other rides. So that's when Space Mountain changes over. That's when Pirates of the Caribbean and the Mad Hatter's Tea Party all change over to that Halloween experience instead of the regular experience.
Now, how does the Mad Hatter's Tea Party change over?
It has different lighting and music and stuff. So there's different effects that go on. I've seen it. I've never experienced the Mad Hatter's Tea Party because nobody I'm ever with wants to go on the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. I can't imagine why.
I would love to go on the Mad Hatter's Tea Party and just take a nice, easy stroll, not spin the thing.
Oh, no, I think maybe that's why, because anytime I ever go on the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, I'm the one that is completely spinning it so that we can turn around and get as busy as possible. I am that person.
Turning red.
Nobody wants to go on the ride with me.
Sure, it's turning red, big smile on your face.
Yep.
Spin that sucker. Yep. No, I'm sure, but me, I always take big old. I don't mind the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. But even as a kid, I would always like to take kind of a nice, easy stroll. So, But yeah, so that does sound very cool. Always good to have the Mickey's. I enjoy this quite a bit. We do have some stuff also. I'll put up some photos from when we went there last year over on our Instagram that Steve's done a really good job with. Make sure if you're not following us over there, Instagram, you follow us on there at Disney 101 Pod, POD. Yeah, I'll definitely put up some photos from when we went to Land last year. And also did some of the stuff. We didn't do the Mickey's party there. I honestly don't feel like the party at Land is as big as the party in World.
No, definitely not. But it is getting bigger. They're adding more stuff this year, as it is kind of starting to take off. So I'm sure within the next couple of years, it will definitely grow into a full-fledged event.
See, the thing with them, at least the way it went last year, is you had special attractions that were awesome. You had they basically changed the Guardians of the Galaxy into like a different one at night. They changed Nightmare Before Christmas, made that very much Halloween themed, and then there was another one they did. But the thing was, and then Space Mountain became Space something or other Mountain, which we have a video of up on our up in the archives on the YouTube channel. The Space something. You know what I'm talking about?
I think with here at Magic Kingdom, it was Deep Space Mountain, so maybe it's the same thing.
Something like that. But yeah, the other thing was they just had that out there for everybody. So anybody could go. You didn't have to have tickets to the party. I think that
some of that stuff is kind of a hassle to do the change around, like the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay on the Haunted Mansion. That I think they keep up until Christmas because it's kind of a hassle to do all of that changeover.
Oh, gotcha. It makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it is something where they'd also have to close it down and do it that way, so it's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds cool. And actually, I mean, you were telling me about the season pass for off air. You were telling me about that season pass for the Mickey's Not So. But then you were also telling me about a brand new season pass where you could actually attend the parks for half the day. Is that true?
So it's not this particular one is not a seasonal pass. There is something where at Epcot where I think it's like an Epcot After 4 seasonal pass. But this is for we're talking about like a regular day ticket, so multiple multi-day ticket, but it is called a midday magic ticket. It starts off with being 1 park per day. You can add a park hopper option to this if you would like to, but basically the way that it goes is you can buy a 2-day, a 3-day, or a 4-day ticket, and you get into the theme park after 12 p.m. Now you can go to any one of the 4 parks. So you basically use this as a regular multi-day ticket where you go to 1 theme park per day, but it is significantly cheaper. So I'll give you a breakdown here. So the midday magic ticket, that is 1 park per day, and it's with selected start date of October 6th. For a 2-day ticket. Now this is an example, this is just an example of October 6th as your start date, because sometimes the prices might fluctuate based on the time of the year. But if we're using it as an example for the same time frame, that's kind of why they gave it up on the website. So an October 6th, of course, start date for a 2-day ticket would be $88 per day. So you're looking at $176 total. Compared that to a regular theme park ticket, a regular 2-day ticket, it's $232 total. Wow, so you're saving in the, depending on the way tax kind of figures out, you're saving almost $60 for that ticket.
Yeah.
Waiting until 12 p.m. to go.
Now, the only thing with that is that typically, if you want to get into some of the bigger attractions, your time to go is second the park opens. Rope drop, you're running off.
Right. So it does come, there's that. And then also the other limitation to this is that obviously you wouldn't be eligible for morning extra magic hours if you're staying on Disney property. And your Fast Pass selections you can make as normal, either 30 or 60 days out, depending on if you're staying on Disney property or not. But they're only going to show you're only going to be allowed to make Fast Pass Plus selections with a start time of 12 p.m. or later, which makes sense. Yeah. But the big draw to me, in my mind, is that if you are not one of those people that is an early riser that wants to get there at rope drop, and you're a later in the day person, Say maybe you want to just hang out by the pool, or you want to do other things and then show up to one of the parks. I think it is a great option. It's definitely a great way to pace yourself a little bit more while you're saving some money. But also, as it gets later and towards the holiday seasons, the parks are still open a little bit later. So you're not really missing out on anything. And usually, I would say if you're not going to go first thing right in the morning, the next best time to really get some rides in is later on in the day, usually after dinner time and beyond, especially if you're not a fireworks person or, anything like that. Usually, whenever there is going to be a fireworks, the rides see significant decrease in wait times because everybody's over watching the fireworks. So if you're not a fireworks person, you can just go and get some rides in.
Right. Always make sure too you keep that trick in mind that we've told you about in the past, where they will let you on the line right up until they close the park. So if you're running over, you want to get on Space Mountain or something, and you're like, oh man, the park closes in 2 minutes, I don't have a chance. You do. As long as you get on that line before the park closes, they will let you wait on that line no matter how long it takes to go on Space Mountain.
Yep. If the park closes at 10, as long as you're on the ride as long as you are through the entrance by 9:59, as long as you are past that first set of cast members by 10 o'clock, then you're good to go.
And that's the best. It feels like you're cheating the system a bit. You're hours in the park. We've even done it where we've gone on an attraction, and then we'll be like, oh, we finish the attraction. It's like 9:58, and then we're like, oh man, let's run back and do it again, because if you get in, you can do it. So those are always the times to go. So I'd say that last minute there is almost sometimes as good as that first minute there, provided you're not a fireworks person. If you are a fireworks person, you're not going to really get a chance to. You can't really most of the time go after the show to go back on the attractions.
Yeah, depending, sometimes Magic Kingdom is open a little bit later after their fireworks, but that's usually the only park. Epcot fireworks, they start basically when the park closes. So
Epcot, I feel like also Fantasmic is usually when the park closes.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too.
One of the things that I always also what makes it tough with Magic Kingdom is if you watch the fireworks, usually you have to get a spot. If then you're running back to an attraction, you're typically running past hundreds of people who are going this way, trying to leave the park.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's
also true.
Very, very tough.
Also true. Yeah.
Do that, so. But yeah, that does sound very cool. I like at least that there's an option, and it does seem like Disney is becoming a bit cognizant of the fact that people will be more likely to come if they feel like people come, whatever. But it's nice to see that they're chopping off a little bit of the price and giving you a little bit of price breaks here and there. I'm sure that we're only a matter of time, because what is it? We're about 2 weeks away from Star Wars coming to the WDW.
So they've been doing cast member and annual pass holder previews the last couple of weeks. So I think we are getting to the point where they're going to just open it up.
Yeah.
And they, there's nothing that's guaranteed, but I will say if maybe you happen to have booked your trip a couple of days prior to the opening of Star Wars weekend, the opening of Galaxy's Edge, maybe take a walk by, because sometimes they do this thing called a soft open, where maybe a day or two before attractions and lands actually are officially open, and sometimes they allow you to kind of sneak in. But don't actually try and sneak in, because that is trespassing, and that is not good.
Yeah. It is definitely not. I'll give you that. We were in Universal, I'd say around a year or two ago, right when Jimmy Fallon's attraction was opening up. Do you know what?
Are you talking about with us, or?
You were.
We went to the bachelor party.
You were around. You weren't with me though. Ari and I were there. But do you know the attraction I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think we went on it when.
Right, and it's much better now. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they added a lot more to it and much more to the experience. It's a great attraction if you like Jimmy Fallon. If you don't like Jimmy Fallon, it's not your attraction. You weren't a huge fan, but I thought this was me and my main man Dave were loving this. But when we went, Ari and I, it was not open yet. It wasn't open for a few weeks, and we just so happened to stumble by, and we said, "Hey, is there something that when is this attraction opening?" And they said, "You know what? We're actually going to have a couple hours where we're going to let people come on the attraction. It's just the attraction right now, and it's just a dry run. But if you want to do it, feel free. And so we were able to go on like a couple weeks before it opened. So Steve's 100% right about that. Definitely give it a chance if you get that opportunity.
Yeah. But so speaking of new things, and new things coming up in the next couple of weeks, next week is going to be the D23 Expo.
Oh, nice.
So I thought now that we haven't really gotten a lot of information, obviously, about what's coming in or what to be expected with this, as most of the time, most kind of announcements, whether it's announcements at Comic Cons or that kind of thing, we really haven't gotten a lot of word about even what some of those announcements are going to be about. But that doesn't stop people from coming up with tons of different rumors, which I thought it would kind of be fun to go in and maybe either just run through some of these real quick and kind of rank them based on where we think both either excitement value or the how likely some of these announcements might be.
Sure, that sounds great.
So I want to start with Magic Kingdom, which we've kind of already mentioned a few kinds of things in relation to these. Talking about either the Country Bear Jamboree, maybe switching around the Enchanted Tiki Room, and Great Escape, because it is currently the attraction itself is closed and it's a meet and greet opportunity more than anything. So, what do we think the likelihood is that at least one of those three attractions is going to be reimagined into some other sort of intellectual property, like we've kind of talked about?
Now you said Stitch's Great Escape, you said Country Bear Jamboree, and the third one you kind of were out there.
The Enchanted Tiki Room.
Enchanted Tiki Room. Okay. I do believe that they're going to leave the Country Bear Jamboree alone. Okay. I like to think that maybe we played a small role in that. It was one of our people definitely had a kick out of that episode, and I don't know how much impact we had, but I do know that a lot of folks definitely echoed our sentiment of not wanting it to go away. So I don't actually think that one's going anywhere, but I do think Stitch's Great Escape is as good as gone. And I do think that's when we're going to get I think that's when you're going to get something either, Wreck-It Ralph, which we've discussed, or something I'd like. I do think that Incredibles has a major, it has a major presence in Disneyland and not much at WDW. Wouldn't mind seeing an Incredible attraction as well.
That is true. When we were going through when we had done the Wreck-It Ralph virtual reality thing at Disney Springs, I was thinking, we had heard about maybe something virtual reality and Wreck-It Ralph related coming to Magic Kingdom. And I think there's enough room in that building where we could house something Wreck-It Ralph virtual reality related. And it doesn't even have to be kind of a walkthrough thing. It could even be, one of those like almost Star Tours type things,
okay,
where you're in a virtual reality or you're in some sort of motion simulator type attraction.
Yeah, I think that virtual reality thing was awesome. If they could bring any of that to the parks, I think would be a big hit. As far as the Tiki Room, I don't know about the Tiki Room. I know a lot of people probably like it just as much as I have fond feelings for Country Bear Jamboree, but I think it's what is the rumor going around about that one?
So that is rumored to be maybe something Moana themed.
Okay.
Because it's already Polynesian kind of oriented, so it would be a very easy switch over.
Right.
But then there was a very, now this is probably an 8 or a 9 as far as excitement value, but maybe a 1 or a 2 as far as actually happening. There was a rumor that there was going to be a new ride coming to Adventureland, and it was going to be a Moana themed roller coaster or coaster type attraction.
That would be very cool. Moana is something that I do feel like needs a bigger presence in the parks. It is something where I feel like they're, between, I don't know the names of the songs. Obviously, I know You're Welcome. The other song, what is the big song from Moana?
How Far I'll Go.
Yes. Those songs are about as iconic as some of the songs from Frozen. Those got over big time, and people really enjoyed them. And so I do think that Moana, I don't know if they're making a second one and they plan to make that kind of a franchise, but I think Moana is something that should have more of a presence at the park. It's a huge movie for them.
Yeah, and I mean it is. I mean, I always joke with my wife that her actual favorite movie and her actual favorite princess is Tangled and Rapunzel, but she absolutely loves Moana too. So I always joke that it's actually her favorite,
Okay.
and she's always very quick to correct me. So we have a we have a very good relationship with Moana.
Well, and obviously, Moana has a soft spot in my heart because
Because of Dwayne Johnson.
dying man in sports entertainment voices is a big part of that movie, and actually sings in that movie. I think does a pretty good job.
Thanks to a lot of auto tune.
It probably. No, get away with a good story.
So there are a ton of different rumors surrounding Epcot. There's a lot of stuff that's already been announced with the complete almost reimagining of Future World, with like this play pavilion being added and like the main entrance being moved around a lot. You can actually, if you go to Epcot, if you've been there the last month or so, you can see how those changes have been kind of already in the process of happening. Club Cool is going to be shutting down. Unfortunately, not sure if it's going to be coming back. I know.
My favorite. Love Club, such an underrated attraction.
Yeah. So we know, and there are obviously the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster being built and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure being built. So we think that there's a chance that there's going to be some release dates and opening dates coming out between Remy's Ratatouille Adventure or Guardians of the Galaxy, or also the new Mission Space, the space-themed restaurant. Nice. So maybe we may get more information from one or more of those attractions. What do you think?
Yeah, I think for sure we're getting close on Guardians. I think that's the one that people are getting a little close on. So I expect from an Epcot perspective, we're definitely going to get a date there, and I think we're going to get a soft date on Mission Space. I bet they'll say something like spring 2021 or something like that. Where okay. I think Remy's, they'll probably say something to the extent of like June 2020 or something like that. Does that sound?
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, probably going to be before the big anniversary, before the big 50th anniversary for Walt Disney World, I would imagine.
I would think all three of them will.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we have a little bit more as far as rumors go.
Okay.
There are rumors. There's always a rumor. There's always a rumor about the Imagination Pavilion, similar to how there was always a rumor for Stitch's Great Escape to either be closed down or replaced. So there's rumors going around that the Imagination Pavilion, as it is right now, is going to be either closed or reimagined to make way for either an Inside Out themed attraction or a Wreck-It Ralph themed attraction, with both of those kind of tying into, imagination and kind of the inner workings therein.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have. So when you say the Imagination Pavilion, do you mean all the attractions there as well, or just?
So the two attractions that are in that pavilion area are the actual Journey into Imagination with Figment,
right,
and also the the Disney Pixar animation short, kind of 4D ride where you're in that big theater. And if you ever saw Captain EO, it's the same building that had that, but right now it's like a Disney Pixar short film festival. Oh, nice. Where it's like a 4D experience. Yeah. So they're thinking that one or both of those attractions might be closed down in the near future to make way for either an Inside Out or a Wreck-It Ralph themed attraction. So what do you think the likelihood is that there's going to be news about the Imagination Pavilion?
See if we get around and get me in trouble here a little bit, because last time I mentioned anything about attractions that need to go, and
that is true.
Threw a little shade.
Why not how looking forward or how excited would you be? Right. It's how likely do you think this is going to be?
I do think they're going to do something with Inside Out. Inside Out, they do have the character meet and greet over there, and that really is like, it is prime for like the Imagination type deal. So I could see that. I don't know if they'll get rid of Figment, though. I think Figment's kind of a staple. I think there's certain people that like Figment. it's never an attraction that usually has a big wait time or anything, but people do like it, and I do think that like if they were to get rid of Figment, I think it would be even more of an outcry, so to speak, than getting rid of Country Bear Jamboree.
Yeah, well, I would love to see Inside Out and a reimagined Journey into Imagination with Figment that adds the Inside Out characters. I would like to see that, because you could totally make it where the whole attraction, like the queue is going to be actually somehow journeying into I'm blanking on what the actual character's name is, but where Inside Out actually takes place inside the little girl's head. But how either Figment all of a sudden pops up, or something happens where the characters of Inside Out and Imagination and Figment meet, and that's what the ride is about. So I would like to see that. And then you could switch over the 4D attraction, the Pixar short film festival attraction, to something Wreck-It Ralph themed, and that probably I feel like would be kind of easy to do, either the original movie or Ralph Wrecks the Internet. I feel like that could be an easy thing. 4D attraction. Think if you've ever been to Universal and went on the Shrek 4D ride.
Yes, of course.
Very similar experience to that. So I feel like that could be an easy switch over.
I remember there are times I feel like when you watch a movie that you could almost say this is an attraction, and I do think there are parts of Inside Out and Wreck-It Ralph both that you could feel definitely. That. Yeah, so that would be cool. I think that would be a lot of fun, and always good to I feel like WDW is probably the close to, if not the leader of all the parks in terms of like incorporating the more modern movies into attractions. Yeah, so that'd be
great. So 2 more for Epcot, both having to more do with the World Showcase. One of which
at some point.
What's that?
I said I figured we'd be getting pavilion rumors at some point.
Yeah, so that is one of the things. So maybe a rumor that an announcement of a new country, because there are a couple of spots still for new country pavilions, and a few of the countries being thrown around are either Brazil or Spain.
Okay, that would be. I think that would be cool. I don't know. I think Brazil. I feel like has been since I've been an adult Disney fan. I feel like I've been hearing about Brazil for years.
Yep. So it's one of those things where, and again, imagine a Disney all-you-can-eat Brazilian steakhouse.
Oh, that would be.
If you've never been to a Brazilian steakhouse before, imagine a Disney version.
That would be great. That would be awesome.
Exciting.
Yeah.
And then to finish off Epcot, again, something that's kind of been thrown around back and forth, a Mary Poppins themed ride in the UK pavilion.
Right. That is cool. That is also another one that's been thrown around. I think that one, see, the problem is I don't know if they're going to announce any other new attractions before the 50th anniversary, because I don't know that they'll be able to get them done before the 50th anniversary.
That's true.
So I don't know about that.
The
only thing I could totally see specifically with Epcot is, and it would break my heart, getting rid of the Donald and the Three Caballeros ride and changing that to a Coco.
That is pretty much all but confirmed. It is not 100% confirmed, but it looks like it's happening.
Yeah, they're big on Coco. They've been trying to incorporate more of that in all of the parks, and I think that's probably going to be something that happens.
Yeah. So moving over to Hollywood Studios, of course, there's already been a lot of transformations and already a lot of exciting news coming between Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge and all that. But there is still stuff to come. So, of course, the other ride that we're kind of waiting on is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Right.
So what are the odds that we're going to get some sort of update for that?
Yeah, I think that one you're going to get I think you're getting a full date on that one. I think that's something that that space has been kind of empty for a while, and I think that they've probably been going with that. And I would almost guess that attraction is probably going to be very similar to the Great Movie Ride, but just with Mickey and Minnie. So I don't think that was going to be a tough change.
Okay. So next then, kind of, I feel like I'm increasing in what I think would the likelihood be, or decreasing maybe even. Something Indiana Jones related, because we know, like, we've heard rumors of Indiana Jones kind of being on the chopping block at Hollywood Studios. So what do you think we're going to get some sort of Indiana Jones news, either with the existing stunt show, or maybe there might be even rumors that he might show up with Animal Kingdom at some point in the future, because we know that there is going to be another Indiana Jones movie coming out. So we know the franchise is going to continue, and that could mean that we might get some sort of new life pumped into it, parks related.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It's a situation where is the new Lightning McQueen show, is that also in Hollywood Studios?
It is. It's close to the Rock and Roller Coaster, but it's not a. It doesn't take up a lot of real estate.
Have you seen it yet?
I have not. We haven't really. I think the last time we were in Hollywood Studios, we may have forgotten about it when we went for Fantasmic. We kind of forgot that it was a new thing, but it's all. I would be interested to check it out though, because I've heard interesting things about it.
Yeah, no, and my thought on that is there's so many shows at that point with that being there that maybe they do away with the Indiana Jones stunt show and make that more of like an attraction.
Yeah, maybe either that, or there's also again, this is kind of maybe a pie in the sky rumor that there's because there is so much real estate left up for grabs at Hollywood Studios, they might even be able to add an additional land, like some sort of other extension.
Ah, okay.
So because there is still a lot of real estate left after the Galaxy's expansion.
And the thought there, for him, at least in my opinion, would be kind of bringing Cars Land over there to Epcot.
Yeah, either that, or that could be kind of maybe an extension of Toy Story Land, or something Monsters Inc. related or something. So maybe in addition to that Pixar area.
Yeah, like make that like more of a Pixar type deal.
Maybe. Or you could very easily just do like other, I don't want to say generic, but like a Hot Wheels racers instead of Cars themed,
Yeah, that's cool. I like that, especially because Epcot always has that type thing where it's not everything about the parks. The movies themselves.
So last but not least, we have our Animal Kingdom, at least for the 4 parks, the Walt Disney World parks.
Sure.
There are now, of course, again, the big thing here was Avatar the past couple of years. There apparently is still one more expansion pad that's kind of connected to the land. So there's a little bit of area there next to Avatar that has not been used yet. So there's a chance that, because we already know that there's going to be 4 more Avatar movies coming out, that there might be something in the works, at least, tentatively, at least maybe coming out in the next couple of years, to may or may not be coinciding with the next 1 or 2 or 3rd or 4th movie.
I could see that. Yeah, that specifically because, yeah, you're right. 4 more attractions. It would make sense for them to bring something like that there.
Yeah. So also, instead of adding, maybe removing or reimagining something. Dinoland USA has kind of been very lackluster over, since it opened. And especially with Primeval World being closed down for the past few months. There's kind of been rumors that they might change something with Dinoland, or it might just kind of go away and make way for something else. So one of the rumors is that there might be a Lion King dark ride coming to Animal Kingdom.
Wow.
So between those 2 things, what do you think? What do you think is more likely to happen? That Dinoland is going to be reimagined, or that we're going to get a Lion King dark ride?
That would be a very easy fix for them. If they wanted to move Indiana Jones over to Animal Kingdom, you could easily change the dinosaur ride to the Indiana Jones ride that they have at Disneyland.
Yeah, considering that's basically what it is at Disneyland. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Right. I don't think anyone else. I don't know that we've even been on any of the other attractions in Dinoland. It feels like Dinoland is the equivalent of what Bugs Land was in Disneyland, in that it was kind of like you'd walk past it and you maybe go on Hard to Be a Bug, and then that would be it. You wouldn't do any of the other attractions. So I think that's probably more likely, but I'd love a Lion King ride. I think it's way overdue. It's amazing it's never happened.
Yeah. I think the the kind of the problem with Dino Land is that they hit it on the mark a little bit too well, because the whole theming of it is these two you know get you know these two dinosaurs have this kind of get rich quick scheme of, let's bring this kind of kitschy roadside attraction, and we're going to stop it and plop it right here where, for some reason. And it definitely hits all of the marks of it being kind of that kitschy, like state carnival, county carnival, county fair type of thing.
Right.
Complete with Primeval Whirl, which may or may not be one of the worst attractions on Disney property. But
is Primeval Whirl, is that basically like Dumbo Light, or?
No, that is like one of your favorites, Goofy's Flight School.
Oh yeah, I love Goofy's Flight School, but we have one already, so I'm with you.
Like the Disneyland version, not the Barnstormer.
Right. I think Ari likes Primeval Whirl. But I agree that it's an attraction that is not necessary at all.
Let's see. So again, maybe may or may not be getting something from maybe Indiana Jones themed somewhere there, and who knows, because the Indiana Jones movies have kind of gotten progressively more out of the realm of the real and kind of a little bit more into the realm of like fantasy, with the fourth one having to do with like aliens and stuff. So Who knows? Maybe the fifth one, he's going to stumble into dinosaurs. There's like a Land of the Lost or Lost World type of vibe, and maybe that's how they're going to get. They'll reimagine it.
Kind of bring it over there.
There's of course other like non-park related announcements, at least that we know. We know there's going to be a Beauty and the Beast themed bar that's replacing the Meisner's Lounge at the Grand Floridian. We know there could
we go to Meisner's Lounge.
Yeah. There's unconfirmed rumors that there's going to be that Citricos is changing. Unconfirmed rumors that the Wave over at the Contemporary is going to be an Incredibles themed steakhouse.
Oh, that could be.
There's a possibility that there's going to be a new resort opening up somewhere around the Seven Seas Lagoon.
Damn, that could be.
I got two more for you. There's one that we know that they're confirmed that there's Marvel Superheroes Land coming to Disney California Adventure over on the West Coast. So we know that is confirmed to be happening, but not too many details. So there's a rumor that there's going to be an Avengers coaster in Marvel Land. So how likely is it, do you think, that we're going to hear some sort of news, either relation to Marvel Superheroes Land or the Avengers coaster?
I could definitely see Marvel Superhero Land. I think probably their plan is to bring. I don't know. Can they get them all together by 2021?
Well, so the thing is that because it's Disneyland,
right?
They don't have that kind of time frame. They're not worried about that. If anything, they'd be looking forward and say, okay, what is the next milestone that Disneyland has? Let's try and get that going before that happens.
Right.
So maybe, or also maybe over at Toontown, because Disneyland Park still has Toontown. Maybe there might be a Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway there.
There you go. Yeah, and it's funny because Toontown is one that I've heard rumored to be gone for a long, 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 long time. We have video of us at our final trip to Toontown, and it's still so. I don't know.
Yeah. So I want to end last one with maybe probably the least likely thing to happen. And that would be an announcement of a fifth park at Walt Disney World.
Wow, that would be nutty. They couldn't do it before the 2021, but
yeah, no, that unless they've been working on it in secret for the past 10 years.
Are we hoping for Beastly Kingdom here? Is that kind of what we're?
I would like to. I mean, I think I would love to see maybe like a Villains Park, or maybe like a darker vibe park. But aside from that, I don't see it happening unless it's going to be another kind of maybe another water park or another maybe like a specialty park somehow. I don't know what it would look like. But it's more in reaction to Universal announcing that they're making another park.
Are they making another one?
They are, yeah. They're making I guess it would be if you're including Volcano Bay as their third park, it would be their fourth park that it's rumored to that they also don't have a lot of information on. So, but who knows?
Could be cool. Could be cool. Definitely a lot of stuff to look forward to. I'm not expecting a fifth park. Always thought if there was going to be a fifth park, it would kind of be tied into Disney Nature. But Disney Nature is similar to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I would say anything Disney Nature related is going to find its way over to Animal Kingdom, and maybe Rafiki's Planet Ranch.
It would also probably find its way, and this one will get the people not too thrilled with yours truly. Should also probably find its way over to the straight to DVD release, but I'm just saying love the Disney Nature release.
Straight to Disney Plus now is the new thing. It's going to be straight to Disney Plus, which doesn't have the same connotation, I would hope. So
don't get me wrong. I usually go see the Disney Nature. They're beautiful pieces that are to see on the big screen, but there's never too many folks that are in the theater for them. So I definitely think probably be a good idea.
We've seen a few on the cruise. You know, they're always running Disney Nature shows on the cruise, so it's always good for good for a pop in there.
Always. Well, it is. I think that's going to wrap us up here for today. But obviously, with everything coming out for Disney D23, we'll be back again to talk about that real soon. It's crazy to think that we are just a couple weeks away from the NFL football season, about 2 weeks away. So maybe we'll even do a little off-script NFL preview and tie that into one of my favorite features that Disney does, which is their Gridiron Grub that they're bringing back this year. So we can kind of talk about that similarly to how we did last year with the Monday Night Football things and everything to that extent. They are bringing that back, but it does seem like this year it's going to be taking place, seems, on Sundays, which is weird because ESPN has Monday Night Football. So do a little more. Maybe we could talk about that as it gets a little closer and kind of go off there. But anything you want to say here before we get out of here, Steve?
No, just as always, everybody have a magical week, and we'll see you real soon.
Absolutely, and definitely thanks for hanging out with us here and kind of being a little patient with us in the beginning of the episode. This is our first time using the StreamYard app. It is an awesome app. Go out and check it out. We're still kind of finicking around with it and trying to figure out everything that it can do. But let us know what you think in the comment section about that. And it has been, definitely an adjustment. You guys get to see me pounding back my drinks throughout the whole episode, which normally I do off camera. But it is kind of what it is. But it's cool to have us both here, and I think that it lends more for a good conversation. So I like it.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Well, definitely, if you like what you see, make sure you leave a big thumbs up and subscribe to Disney 101. Follow us on Twitter at Disney 101 Pod, and make sure you go ahead and support us on Instagram at Disney 101 Pod as well. Let us know what you think about all the videos and all of the photos on there. We definitely interact with you guys and try to get back to you as soon as possible. So for Steve, this is Tommy on the spot, going to attempt to end this broadcast and hope there's not this really awkward pause here. But we will be back with you. We're so excited. We're back here on Disney 101, and we will see you guys again real soon.